appreciate the pastor sharing those comments. On behalf of all of us at KGW, we want to let you know we do not tolerate hate or racism of any kind. Again, we apologize and we pledge to do better.
You're listening.
Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATB with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Yes, welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters, your second favorite show streaming on the Who Are These Podcast Network today. I'm Christian Bladt, playing you some clips, and as always, he is Eric Zane in the chat. Eric, how are you today?
Never better, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing great. I was telling you, I just did a bonus episode with Carl and Jenny Jingles where we reviewed the Fixing Joe Matarese podcast episode with Artie Lang, Anthony Cumia, and of course, Jim Norton. And that is a bonus episode for subscribers on Patreon and members here on YouTube on the YouTube page. So please check that out. We had a lot of fun. We also, believe it or not, Eric, we talked a little Stuttering John as well.
Oh, it happens. It happens even to the best of us. I understand that. I think last week someone texted me and said that our pal Kevin Brennan was talking some shit about us. Isn't that right? Is that something we're going to discuss today?
That is accurate. That is something that we will discuss next week because I went through all the avenues to not have to subscribe to his Patreon to get it. And I'm going to have to give him some money to get those clips. But yes. So I know.
That's how they get you. God damn
I was trying to save the $8 and it didn't work, but we'll have that next week. Don't worry. Somebody has bad things to say about my buddy EZ. We will find it.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Honestly, I like Kevin. I don't know what the fuck why he would say something bad about me. I'm actually the one who likes him.
Well, we'll talk about it next week, but he was showing the clip of you and Carl talking about Joe Matarese. So you were in a clip. So that's actually why he commented on you.
I see.
But that's enough Joe Matarese talk for today. Let's tell everybody how Super Chats work on this show.
Real simple. Rather than just begging like a moron, we actually want you to contribute with a witty thing for Christian to say as a sign-off. Witty or, completely offensive. So make it good. Make it terrible. The one with the highest dollar amount attached to it will be what Christian signs off with. However, if you like just giving money away to two losers, you're entirely entitled to that as well. Your chats will be seen. And another way to do it for free is be funny. If you are funny, you get up there. And who's judging that? Christian and I.
That's right. So you have to make us laugh. And if you want me to put up the chat, make fun of Eric. If you want Eric to put up the chat, make fun of me. It all works out. Everybody wins. All right. Now that we've done the preamble, let's dive into some local news.
Others imitate it. We appreciate it.
I don't know about you, Eric, but my mom used to make me write letters to my grandmother, and I assume she always enjoyed getting them to, just pretend that we hadn't forgotten about her. And I think even if she didn't like them, she might have enjoyed those letters more than the one that we're about to talk about. A man who has to apologize to his grandmother. Let's see what that was all about.
It's not every day that a person is charged with carjacking their own grandmother. In this case, Lake County deputies say the suspect couldn't wait to apologize to his grandmother, so he wrote her a letter. Dear Grandma, Alan Aspinwall's letter begins. First and foremost, you're the most beloved person in the whole world, coming from me and everyone else.
Not the most beloved, the most beloved person in the whole world.
I need to know more about this. I don't want to ask questions and ruin it, but this is incredible.
This does seem like a story that lends itself to getting some answers.
He writes, I want to apologize for not being the young man you raised. Lake County deputies say this all stemmed from Aspinwall.
So for our audio audience, we have to talk about exactly. I mean, I don't know. I feel like to say that this guy looks like a roadie for Ziggy Marley and the Melody Makers that maybe fell on hard times. Yeah. Is that an accurate description, Eric?
Yeah, that's a unique look because he's growing out the dreads, but balding. So it almost looks like that's photoshopped on.
Let us know in the chat what a dreadlock mullet looks like, because it's definitely very thin up top and party in the back, but I've never seen it in dreadlock form.
And now there's
sorry.
I'm sorry. There's also some excellent racist jokes, but I don't know if this might be one of those. I don't know if this guy's black.
Yeah, but you know what we say on this show, better safe than sorry. We always err on the discretion that if it walks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it's probably a duck, right, Eric?
I don't know, man. He looks like any fucking dude to me. Anyway, either way.
I think we're going to get his name, so let's see.
His grandma at their Okahumpka home before stealing her car keys. In 911 audio, Aspinwall's cousin said he had to pull him away.
My cousin pushed my grandma down and took her keys. I had to get him off her.
Okay, so I can hear it now. It's definitely black.
Yeah. Yes. You heard the 911 audio. And this is a great topic at any family reunion or maybe Thanksgiving dinner. The quote on the screen, my cousin pushed my grandma down and took her keys. I had to get him off her. When I first heard this story, I thought, a guy accidentally carjacked his grandmother. He carjacked a car and, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. It's like the gift of the Magi. You're driving this car. Oh my God. And I carjacked this car. So his cousin rats him out within like seconds.
The arrest report states Aspinwall wanted to get something from the car's trunk, but then he grabbed the keys from his 77-year-old grandmother, cutting her hand.
Was your grandmother injured at all?
Yeah, she was. She got her hand hurting right now. She was it's all like bloody and
she's called grandma, but there's a pretty good chance that she's like 26.
Well, they did say she's 77.
Oh, okay.
So if I had to guess, perhaps they're her great.
Okay, I missed that.
She might be their great grandma. I think
great grandma.
Yeah, or she's just a lady in the neighborhood they call grandma. Look, there's a lot of possible scenarios here, but the guy who made the 911 call is very free and clear with the details. Somebody's trying to get it to grandma's will, and it's not the guy who jumped her.
Gotcha.
And they say Aspinwall shoved her to the ground, got in the car, and drove away.
How long ago did that occur?
Just like a minute ago.
Literally a minute ago.
Yeah, I can still see him. He's at the stop sign right now.
Yeah.
You can hear him, and he holds up the phone, and you hear, "Fuck you, Grandma." He's that close.
If I could get off the couch, I could probably catch him.
Okay.
I do. My little cousin come running in, told me to get his daddy off of grandma, and I took running out the room, and just like 5 minutes ago.
Leesburg police arrested Aspinwall and recovered the car.
Yeah. So we've got the arrest
remorseful and wrote the 4-page letter to say how sorry he was. He writes, quote, I acted without thinking, period. I would never hurt you on purpose or accident.
That's true. You did. You did do that to Grandma.
Yeah. You can argue whether or not you hurt her on purpose or on accident. I believe it was both. He tackled her on purpose, and then I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't mean to cut her hand. I think that was probably too much. She's probably holding on to bitch was probably holding on to the keys. And
give up the keys, dumb fuck. What are you doing?
All right, this is almost over.
I love you with all my heart. It's time to close this chapter in my life. I'm crying now writing this.
So it's time to close this chapter in his life. And if I'm grandma, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad you want to close this chapter. I'm not interested in closing this chapter. This is the chapter. There's no other chapters after this one.
Yeah. This is a chapter that doesn't just close because you want it to close, you dumb fuck. God damn.
I'm sure that the chat are really enjoying this story, but I'll leave it up to you as to whether or not there's anything we can actually share on the show.
It's all some of it's okay. But going through it, there's a lot of good one-liners, nothing too extravagant. So thank you.
That's all right. Well, remember, if you want us to hit our goal, you have to pay for those comments.
Yeah. Here, we're passing our cup. Pay us. That's embarrassing. I can't even joke about that. That's fucking horrible.
For next week's show, I'm going to have a third camera that is just a picture of a fedora upside down, and I'm going to put money in it as the show goes along, as long as we actually get some super chats. Let's keep things litigious. A police shootout can start for a lot of reasons. This story, and I think some people are probably aware of this. There's a little bit of news about this story, but this is kind of the one of the weirder police shootouts that started. It kind of sounds like an outtake from a Chip and Dale cartoon, so you have to stick with it for a moment. There's some amazing footage to start, though.
Deputy who started shooting first actually thought he had been shot, but he wasn't. That deputy, Jesse Hernandez, has since resigned. Body cam footage shows Jackson complying with deputies after his girlfriend reported him for allegedly stealing her car. Video shows Okaloosa County deputies patting him down, and he's handcuffed behind his back, then put in the backseat of Hernandez's patrol vehicle.
So what we're seeing now, we don't have the audio, but don't worry, we will get some. As they stressed, there was a suspect who had his hands behind his back. He was handcuffed. He was strapped into a patrol car. And yet this officer, who, as they pointed out, has since resigned since this video came out last week, he thought that he'd been shot at.
Moments later, deputies started shooting at him.
Shots fired!
So he said, shots fired.
Shots fired!
He's doing parkour.
Shots fired!
Shooting into his own squad car.
Yeah, he just unloads into the squad car.
He's like, I'm hit.
In the backseat of that cruiser sits Marquise Jackson, handcuffed and buckled in. This chaotic scene shows former Deputy Jesse Hernandez shooting into his patrol vehicle, thinking Jackson had somehow shot him in the legs. But according to a 44-page final report from the Okaloosa County Sheriffs, that sound that triggered the gunfire was actually a falling acorn hitting the top of his cruiser, not a gunshot.
It was not a gunshot from the guy who's restrained in the car and in front of you. It was, in fact, an acorn that fell down.
Yeah.
And yes, he's resigned. There's more of the video, and in it, he says he can't feel his legs because he's trying to convince the other police officers that he's been shot.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the other cops, you're like, oh my God, this guy got shot. Of course, you're going to support him. You don't realize he's an idiot.
Yes, that you have an idiot there, and Nicola says, or Brock says he was hit. He wasn't even hit. He was just thinking he was hit. This was an unbelievably inept individual with the job of enforcing the law. It's mind-boggling to me. This whole story, I could not believe that story. Yeah. My God,
it's I mean, shockingly, for anybody who saw the video, the guy in the car, I didn't get shot. I think he might have gotten grazed or something, but he's still alive. They were able to drag him out of the car a little bit later, actually.
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable, that goddamn story. And then when he was unloading his magazine, the other cop started shooting into the car too. There was another cop there. You might even have said that, but that is just, it's fucking nuts. I cannot believe that.
Yeah. Well, local news stories like that one, they're crazy, and sometimes you get the ones that are, heartbreaking or maybe a little depressing. So when something fun comes along, what do we got from Brock?
They dragged him out and kicked him for good measure.
They did, yeah, because it's like, this is what you get for thinking about shooting us. This is what you get for using your magical powers to make that.
I give thee the knee of Derek.
So sometimes I guess we have to understand when the gang in the newsroom try to have some fun with a story, as happened recently in Philadelphia when a horse was spotted running along the interstate.
Hold
hold your horses. It is the video everyone has been sharing all day long. A horse hoofing it down I-95 this morning. And if it wasn't caught on camera, Dawn, no one would believe it.
Right? It looked like something out of a movie scene. The horse is okay, but video of its wild ride through Philadelphia this morning is the talk of the town.
Tell me how wild this looks for you, Eric. It's just running on the shoulder.
Yeah.
To help catch this horse.
I like how.
This was the
Go ahead, sorry.
I like how the one reporter says, "If we didn't have video, you wouldn't believe it." As if all someone would have to say was, "Hey, there's a horse loose on the interstate." No, I need to see it to believe you.
Who's driving and being the pace car to the horse so that they can film it? By the way, that's probably the most dangerous thing happening right here.
Well, just the idea that thing could easily. Can you imagine how easily that thing could jump that concrete wall there and wind up actually in someone's windshield?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in a really rural area, and there would be times that there would be a deer running alongside the car, and I'm like, he's so stupid. He's probably gonna, buck right into me, and you try to figure out how to get away from it. But I mean, this is on the interstate, and look, it's Philly. I mean, how many qualified drivers are on the road at this hour? That's really what I'm asking you, Eric. Go ahead.
The Silent Shape writes, "This horse killed Mr. Hands." I'm hoping so. Some of you don't know what that means. You'll have to look up Mr. Hands.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Mr. Hands. If anybody died doing what they love, it's Mr. Hands.
Yeah.
That's correct, sir.
This was the dispatch call from Philadelphia police
Look at
just
him
before
go.
5 in the morning.
Looks
Even
great,
they
though.
were surprised. A horse galloping freely on I-95 North near the Girard Avenue exit. Video capturing the wild ride going viral.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good looking horse. I mean,
Did they explain what happened to them? I mean, how do you bring that? How do you make that end? God damn! Did they just shoot it?
They didn't shoot it. They're able to get it back to the stable he got out of, and there's a theory that somebody intentionally opened. They had to open 2 gates for him to get out. So somebody realized how hysterical this was going to be.
Yeah. You could picture them maybe like driving in front of them with one of those, like a fucking Bond movie where the back opens up and the horse just runs right into it, or
right, exactly. Yeah. The way that David Hasselhoff used to drive Knight Rider in the back of a moving car. That's what horse should do. All right. Well, when you have a story like this, there was some light mirth at the beginning, but now it's really time for the jokes.
Of course, as news spread the horse was okay, the horse jokes started pouring in. Even Philly PD couldn't resist, posting on X, "Hey, Philly, hold your horses so we don't have to."
There's a lot of horse puns to go around, and they kind of happen naturally.
Like a highway is not really a stable environment for a horse. All right.
Oh, Dawn.
Who wrote that joke? Joe Matarese?
Dawn. Highway is not a stable environment for a horse.
Yep. Yeah.
Are you proud of yourself, Dawn? Huh?
Yep.
Do you feel good now that you did that? You should be ashamed. If I lived
agree.
anywhere near Fox 29, I would be outside.
Did I just lose your audio?
I don't know. Did you? Oh,
check.
Oh boy, that's always that's for good measure. You still hear? You're not hearing me? Oh boy. Hey, is the chat hearing me? All right. This is good. And you know that the chat's going to give us an honest answer. DeWired Christian says audio is fine. So maybe EZ can put his cans back on. Patrick Everett hears me. See, this